Okay, I'm Bryce Keller. Again, we have another letter to Governor John Kasich here in Ohio. Governor Kasich, in reference to my debate challenge, I would like to provide the following issues for your consideration. Marijuana convictions stigmatize those charged with such convictions, even in places with decriminalization. In Ohio, the current status of the law has marijuana listed with other drugs and carries a license suspension. This undermines the ability of those charged with this non-criminal offense to maintain employment or maintain a productive position in society. Marijuana convictions also have implications for grants, school loans, and the like. In a country where even presidents admit to marijuana use, it is clear that the disenfranchisement of minorities and the poor at higher rates is clearly absurd. For avoidance of doubt, those with the fewest opportunities to begin with are the most likely to suffer consequences of inequitable enforcement. Just as a practical matter, if you have more money, you are more likely to avoid detection and/or consequences related to marijuana enforcement. I personally would add that marijuana offenses may even create a pretext type issue in law enforcement. Police officers use the smell of marijuana to search all kinds of things, even when discretion should have been used. Again, the disparate rates of enforcement along socioeconomic lines further entrenches the need for reform. Let me explain the significance of this letter and why it's important to. That was the end of the letter. All the best, Bryce Keller. To our viewers, let me explain the importance of this letter and why Governor Kasich needs to be on notice of these issues. Um, there is a sense, or there is a position among politicians that decriminalization in Ohio means that the problem is going away or less of a problem or whatever. That's not true. The point is that marijuana prohibition continues to exist in Ohio, and the what happens to people is that you get the whether it's a dealing in marijuana or it's a simple possession or whatever, it's lumped in with other hard drugs, and there's a license suspension, and there are jobs and employment and things where the stigmatization continues. And what you have is, if you are well off, you're likely to not have um, suffer those consequences at a very high rate. But if you're in an area that is policed heavily, for example, if you don't have a car and you're walking around and spending a lot of time in public areas like using public transportation in particular, or in low-income neighborhoods, you're more likely to come in contact with law enforcement. And as we've pointed out, if marijuana shouldn't have been criminal in the first place, all that's really happening is it's disenfranchising a large group of people that should not have been disenfranchised in the first place. So that's kind of the significance of that. And you see statistical data over and over and over again where you get whatever it is, a million, then it was like 800,000, then it's kind of more like 600,000 a year, something like that, marijuana arrests in the nation. But there's a very disparate amount of those arrests that go towards minorities, even though we know that the use rates don't necessarily match up to that. So anyway, that was the significance of that letter, and why I think that marijuana prohibition should be ended.